Hi everyone. Okay, welcome to the reading, welcome to the channel, and thank you for returning to the channel. Okay, so this is going to be a collective reading, and it's for unconventional people, and you'll see why once we get into the reading. Okay, so the first card, we start off with um, the fairy godmother. Now, this card, apart from what the book says that this card is about, it's really interesting because, first of all, just notice how beautiful and bright and colorful this um, this card is, and we'll contrast that later on with some other cards. And what this card shows us, okay, this is somebody who's got more than one option, okay, and this is something that perhaps you always felt that you had ever since you were born. You felt like you could have done many things, okay. Perhaps you felt um, you could have been an excellent doctor. You could have been an excellent engineer. You could have been an excellent I don't know, management consultant. You could have been an excellent lawyer. Okay, or perhaps if we want to bring it to the unconventional, like I said, because this appears to be a reading for unconventional people, but it is a collective reading. Okay, so there's more than one of you, who are quite a few of you, who are unconventional and who are in the collective. And perhaps I don't know, you could have been you wanted to be a ballet dancer, or you want to be that musician. Okay, perhaps nobody's been a musician in your family, and wasn't really liked or encouraged, and or perhaps you wanted to be an artist, some artist of some sort. Who knows? Okay, well, look at her. She's crowned. Okay, she's crowned with jewels. She's crowned with everything. Okay, it's a very auspicious card to have, and it seems like ever since you were born, you had this ability to practically be whoever you wanted to be. Perhaps you were also very much liked by so many friends. Okay, perhaps everybody wanted to be your friend. Okay, because you were just so cool at everything. You were the one that was able to, I don't know, excel in sports, excel in school, the one that always aced all the exams, but was really kind to everybody. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so you really had it together. Okay, this is in your past. So this is you were, ever since you were born, pretty much. Okay, you were really social. Social butterfly, perhaps. Okay, everybody really liked you, and you had really a lot of options. Now, contrast this with, and this card also talks about. Let's go into the what the card says, okay? And I'll just give you some of the words with this card, and it says um, gifts, talents, grace, helpful, or useful. Sorry, is that useful? Useful lessons, helpful lessons. Just like, yeah, helpful lessons. Sorry about that. The book is right behind the camera, so I had to kind of look at what it says, because I'm not really absolutely familiar with all these cards. I'm still trying to integrate them into the channel. So in any case, this card, look at how bright, okay, and everything is really just tantalizing, appealing. All the beautiful colors that's in here, and all the beautiful options that are in here. Now, compare and contrast that with the next two cards that came out. Actually, these cards came out together. However, the one that came out first, just before the other card, is a collective of pixies, and then we have Mick the Myomancer. Okay, now just look at the difference. Okay, like this is way back in your past. This is in the recent past, and just take a look. Like, this is a gray card. This is a dark card, and this is just a really colorful card. Okay, really bright. Look at all the lights over here. Seems like everything. She's holding everything in her hands. Okay, she's got everything under control, kind of like over here. Perhaps also got everything in control, but not really. Also, because she can't make up her mind, right? She doesn't know which one to choose, the left one or the right one. She's even got her arms crossed. Okay, so kind of even indicating that there's even more of an indecision. Not only are her hands full with the choices, but she doesn't know if she's leaning more consciously to one side or unconsciously to the other side, consciously to this side or unconsciously to the side. So that's why the hands are crossed. Okay, and then there's the contrast between this in your distant past, where you felt you've always had all the options. Okay, kind of like felt like things were in control just because you didn't decide, and just had everything. Everything was possible, and rightfully so. Like, I mean, for everybody, right? I mean, you only really have to make a decision as to what road you're going to choose once you get to your mid-teens or something like that, and especially when you have to choose, like, for university, or go into the into a trade, or go into work, leave school, right? So you tend to make that around 16 years of age, something like that, 15, 16, 18, something like that, right? You know what I'm talking about. So we go from this card here, where she's got these options. She doesn't know what to choose, to this card over here, along with Make the Myomancer. And this is a collective of pixies, okay? And they're throwing their hands up in the air. He's throwing his hands up in the air. Okay, so still not making a decision, even in this recent past. Okay, and I feel for you, because yeah, it's not really difficult. It's not really, sorry, not really difficult, and it's not really easy to make a decision. You know, especially if you have to decide which university to go to, or which job offer you're going to accept. Perhaps this deals with something like in September, October, when there's recruiting that goes on at university. Also in the springtime, if you're watching this in the springtime, there's all these companies that come to university, and there's some recruiting that's going on. Of course, if you're in the southern hemisphere, then it's inverse. The spring is coming up, and the autumn is going to be the semester following that. Okay, so however this resonates for you, wherever you are, and whatever time of year you're watching this, and whatever year you're watching this in. Okay, so what does a collective of pixies talk about? Let me. As I hold up the card, I'm going to try to read what a collective of pixies says. And a collective pixies says duty, willingness, joyful participation, virtue. Okay, so yeah, there's a virtue that you think is there in all these choices, and making the right choice. So there's a virtue in one right choice. Perhaps you think there's one right choice. Okay, if this is employment, university, or even if this is a love reading, okay, you think maybe one person is really a lot better than the other person, but perhaps you're having a difficult time trying to decide. Okay, and it says duty and willingness, joyful participation, virtue. So there is a willingness, but you also feel it's a duty. Of course, you feel it's a duty, because you need to make the right decision. Okay, and this is Make the Myomancer. It's about again, look at how gray this card is in contrast with the fairy godmother. And Make the Myomancer talks about small clues, details, the messages everywhere, and patience. Okay, so perhaps you're having a little bit, trying to have some patience and trying to make a decision, trying to be kind with yourself, which is good. But perhaps you also need to make a decision soon. Okay, because well, maybe because you can't keep on dating two people at the same time, or three people at the same time. You need to tell the company which offer you're going to accept. You need to make a decision with your university, etc., etc. Okay, so you get the idea. So Make the Myomancer. Okay, you're trying to listen for clues. Okay, it says small clues and details. Okay, the messages everywhere, patience, but you really can't find the messages, it seems like, because you're throwing your hands up in the air in this card. It's kind of gray in this other card, and you have so many options. You don't know what to do. Okay, you really don't know what to do. Well, let's see if we can get clearer indication in your current situation. In your current situation, you have the Singer of Initiation, which kind of reminds me of the Ace of Swords. You know, the card where, yes, it talks about triumph, and this card is actually, one of the definitions is triumph for this card. Let's see, the Singer of Initiation, passage through trial, triumph, and new levels. Okay, so you're trying to get to a new level. The person of your dreams, the job of your dreams, the university of your dreams, etc. But it's a passage through trial, because you still can't make up your mind. Okay, but let's talk about a triumph. So perhaps the decision you're going to make is going to be the right decision. Okay, but you still don't know what it is yet. You're perhaps relying on some intuition. Okay, but we don't have the Singer of Intuition here. We have the Singer of Initiation. So you got to initiate yourself through this. Okay, you really have to get in touch with your deeper self. Perhaps some meditation, some prayer, perhaps even some walking, some exercise. Sometimes you get these inspirations through just taking your mind off of things and letting your unconscious speak to you. But you gotta listen. Okay, you gotta listen to perhaps what the little ideas and insights are listening to um, when you're listening to your higher self. Okay, and this can come at any time, when you're walking, when you're exercising, when you're working, okay, or when you're washing, I don't know, when you're doing the wash at home, or when you're tidying up at home. Okay, these little insights and idea, sometimes when you take your mind off of things, that's when the answer comes to you. And what do we have as influence, okay, from from life, from the environment, from your unconscious? Okay, we have more indecision. Okay, it seems to just keep repeating this indecisiveness. Okay, you seem to be leaning to one. Okay, because you have one option here in this hand. This hand is free, but look at what she's done. She's thrown all these other options up in the air, almost expecting them to. They're energetic. Okay, so energetically, she's thrown these things up in the air, kind of expecting, the heavens to make a decision for her, but they're not making a decision for her. Okay, she's kind of she's got it in her right hand. Okay, so it's a conscious decision that she's trying to go with. Okay, maybe she's trying to unite. It is a female. Okay, so she's trying to unite consciousness. Okay, the masculine principle with emotion, the feminine principle. She is a woman, and she's trying to come up with a very what can we call it? A very balanced kind of a decision. But she's still not totally convinced that she's made the right decision, because she's got all these energies just thrown up. Okay, so you thrown up into the air. So you really don't know. You really don't know. Should you become an engineer? Should you become a doctor? Should you become a CEO, or should you become a lawyer? Okay, who knows? Maybe you can become a lawyer and become a CEO at the same time, or maybe you become a doctor and become a CEO at the same time. Or an engineer and then a CEO, or any combination. I mean, just because, maybe if you're in the medical profession and you start up a private consulting clinic, then you can become CEO of that private consulting clinic. You get the idea. Okay, so still not making a decision in the very near future. And then look what we have. Okay, two cards again that came out together. We have the RAR card, okay, and this card. What does this card say? This is really interesting, okay, because if we look at the visual again, a really beautiful card, just as is this. This is another beautiful card. This is a beautiful card. This is a beautiful card. So we have a lot of very beautiful cards, okay. Apart from perhaps these two, and maybe the other one that's coming up next. Apart from these two, okay, because they're a little bit dark and a little bit gray. And this is one of the last two cards that fell out. They fell out together, but this one did fall first. So the RAR. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but there does appear to be two faces over here. One seems to be like an eye with a mouth over here. I don't know if you can make this out. You'll probably not be able to see it. And there's also two more eyes over here with a mouth over here. And they both seem to be kind of like looking down. Okay, not really sure about themselves. Okay, kind of letting themselves, trying to be inspired by some, but not getting the inspiration to make a decision one way or another. Should you go to University A, or should you go to University 3? Okay, I purposely mixed them up. A or B, 1 or 3, 1 or 2, whatever. I just because that's how difficult it is. Okay, it almost feels like you have apples and oranges, and you don't know how to categorize them to make a decision, or at least a decision that satisfies you in this present moment. So again, what does this card say? This card says that the RAR is wild energy, pure potential. So you do have pure potential. Okay, that's a good thing. You do have pure potential over here, but if you don't make the right decision, you feel like you won't be able to get that pure potential. So what is the right decision, you're asking yourself? Okay, and it was paired with the Indie card, so I can't give you what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. Okay, and the Indie card. Okay, look at this. Okay, he's got again. Look, just like we started off the reading, two options. He's got an option here and an option there. She's got an option here and an option there. And he's also got his arms crossed, okay, just like she has. So you're almost right back at the same place you were right when you were, very young. You had so many options, and you don't know. And this is a little bit of a in the future, in the near future. You still don't know how to make the right decision over here, okay? Because you maybe perhaps you want to kind of hold on to everything and have everything be possible, but you know that everything is not possible, because if you go to University A, there's no way you can possibly go to University B at the same time. If you work for Company A, you can't possibly work for Company 2 at the same time, okay? So perhaps they're both really, really good, and perhaps in the end, the decision that you make is not really very consequential, because perhaps they're both equally good, but perhaps there's certain things that set them apart. Maybe the location, maybe the prestige of one company is slightly better than the prestige of another company, etc., etc. If this is a love reading, then perhaps your heart is in one person and your mind is in another person. There could be various influences that come into play. Perhaps you've always liked a certain type of person, and then there are certain qualities that intrigue you about this other person, and then you don't know what to do. Okay, so you get the idea. Okay, so there seems to be indecision over here, even though there seems to be pure potential. Again, this kind of mixes up like a really colorful kind of card, although kind of looks like a little bit, the hair is kind of like down. There's like a face over here. There's also a face over there, but combined with a dark card. Okay, so it's kind of like the sum of all of the reading. While there's some beautiful cards, there's also some like darker or some gray cards, and this is maybe one of the darker gray cards, mixing them both together. Whereas this, in the recent past, okay, you have both a gray card and a dark card, and look at all the cards where you have all these, indecision. She's got more than one choice, throwing the hands up in the air. Again, kind of leaning to one decision, but then throwing up all these energies up in the air because they don't know, trying to get the heavens to help them out. And then over here, the indecision card. You have 4 indecisive cards, okay? So it's really, I think this reading is really just representing how much of a difficulty it is for you to make up your mind, and that's what's coming through in the reading. So it's not really a reading that's trying to give you an answer. It's more a reading of saying, look, this is where you are, and you need to kind of sort this out yourself. So perhaps get into meditation, perhaps do some praying, do some praying, and perhaps contact your higher self and get some information like that. Okay. So please help us please help like this, and so the YouTube algorithm is gonna get this video out to as many people as possible. And also, please help us get to 100. We're trying to aim for 100 subscribers. So like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you so very much for all your watching and all your sharing, all your liking, all your subscribing. Please keep it up. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Looking forward to doing another reading for you, perhaps very soon. Who knows, maybe even perhaps later on tonight we'll get to maybe a Leo or the Virgo reading. This was supposed to be a Leo reading, but it ended up turning out to be a collective reading, perhaps because of the collective of pixies. No, I'm just joking. It just seemed to be really a reading that perhaps was going to resonate with the collective, the Unconventional Collective. Okay, so the Unconventional Collective has a lot of decisions to make. Decisions. That's what I'm going to title it. the Unconventional Collective, decisions. Okay, so like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the movement of the video there, and see you soon.